Hi YouTube. Today I would like to talk briefly on why I don't celebrate or no longer celebrate holidays. Two main reasons why. One is the commercialization of them, and another from a Christian faith point of view. And I think a lot of us can relate to the commercialization side of it, and you see it. I even saw it yesterday in preparation for Mother's Day. I saw a lot of people out buying flowers, and I saw the signs out there advertising, get this or get that for Mother's Day. And then of course, Christmas, Black Friday sales after Thanksgiving, people out there going crazy, stressing themselves out and getting gifts, and oftentimes racking up more debt on their credit cards. Valentine's Day, people feeling obligated that they have to buy something for their significant other. Cards and candies and flowers, all the trinkets and gifts that are sold. And it's the same for the Thanksgiving, Halloween. And you have to think about it, how it's been forced on us by society, and it's another way to bring in revenue. And it's these holidays bring in who knows how much money per year. And it's a shame that people seem or feel that they are obligated or feel guilty that if they don't participate in these holidays. I used to participate in them. I used to celebrate them. I celebrated, when I was growing up, we celebrated Thanksgiving and Christmas, and even though we didn't really do a lot for Halloween, I never even went trick-or-treating as a kid. My family didn't feel comfortable, us kids going out and doing all that. And I've decided I don't want to be a part of that anymore. And I will say that if I was a father, I am not, I would tell my kids to not worry about getting me anything for Father's Day. I would at least let them know, hey, don't feel that because it's Father's Day, oh, we got to get Dad something. No, you don't. And just your everyday, just being in my life, the phone calls I get, the visits from my kids, or just a regular day where your son or daughter decides, hey, I'm off today, Dad. Hey, let's go out for lunch. Just on a random day. That's what would mean more to me than a day designated by society that this is going to be the day that we celebrate these things. And I'm stepping back from it. And I think a lot of people out there feel the same way. They dread them. Whose family are we going to go to this year there, honey? We going to your parents' house or my parents' house? Oh, is your Aunt Dorothy going to be there? Oh my gosh. And people get stressed out over it. And they can't wait until the holidays are over. And oftentimes it's a depressing time for many people. A lot of people feel lonely during that time because they don't have family around, and they're seeing all of the holiday festivities going on, and they're not a part of it. I do have fond memories of the holidays growing up. You know, I do remember the Christmas lights and the family get-togethers and the Christmas cookies and all of that. But as I've gotten older, you start seeing it for what it really is. It's just a big marketing thing deployed on us. And then you look at the origins of Halloween, Easter, and Christmas and their pagan origins. Take, for example, Halloween. You can do your own homework on this as well. I did some research on it. Halloween is influenced by the active values of the Wicca religion. And October 31st is an important day for Wiccans. It's a day they celebrate the lives of those who have died, and in some rituals, the spirits of the dead are invited to attend their festivals. It's a celebration of darkness, witches, and witchcraft. It's very popular and normalized today. And if you believe in spirits, I think that when you celebrate some of this stuff, the Halloween, you very well possibly can be inviting some evil, dark stuff into your home. And so as Christian people, you have to question whether or not we should be participating in such a day. I had a late neighbor, she used to call it the devil's holiday. I think she's right. Let's go to Christmas. We don't know when Jesus was born. And it can't be December 25th. Well, why do you say that, Jim? Well, the Bible says that the shepherds were out in the fields of Judea on the night Jesus was born. And I've been told shepherds didn't keep their flocks in the fields after October. So it is estimated that Jesus may have been born between March and September, not December 25th. And if you notice, the Bible doesn't say we have to celebrate it. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? Did God deliberately leave out Jesus' date of birth? And it's a good possibility he did. And why is that? Perhaps God doesn't want us to celebrate it. And that he wants us to celebrate his birth, death, and resurrection and ascension every day, not just once a year. The Christmas tree, look up the origins of that. Even in Jeremiah 10, it says, "Customs of the people are vain. They cut down a tree with an axe and decorate it with silver and gold and fasten it down with nails so it doesn't move." There's different camps out there about that. Well, that doesn't mean it's a Christmas tree. You have to decide for yourself. And I found this. Constantine made Christianity the state religion of Rome in the 4th century. Many people during that time didn't want to give up their 2 annual festivals connected with the worship of the sun. One was the birth of the sun god on December 25th, the winter solstice. And the other was a spring festival celebrating the death of winter and the sun returning to bring the summer by the sun god. They renamed the sun god Jesus and continued to celebrate the festivals, renaming them Christmas and Easter. Now going into Easter, where do we get the name Easter from? Ostera, the goddess of the spring. Easter eggs, what's that? A symbol of fertility, going back to ancient Egyptians and Persians who had the custom of coloring and eating eggs during the spring festival. The egg becoming the symbol of the resurrection. Now, old superstition says the sun rising on Easter morning dances in the heaven, a belief traced to an old heathen festival of spring, and the spectators danced in honor of the sun. Now, what do many Protestant churches do today? What do they have? Easter sunrise service. Think about it. So yes, the death and resurrection of Jesus is important, and we should remember it. Now, when I was going to church, I remember we had this thing called communion, the Lord's Supper. And in the Bible it says, and this was the Last Supper. It's the popular image of Jesus and the disciples in that painting. Jesus took some bread, and after he gave thanks, he broke it, and he gave it to the disciples and said, "This is my body given to you. Now watch this. Do this in remembrance of me." And he did the same thing with the cup. "This is my blood. Take, drink. Do this in remembrance of me." Not remember me with Easter eggs, with Cadbury cream eggs or marshmallow peeps. Something to think about. Even Thanksgiving has some questionable background. Now, it became official in 1863 during the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln established it, and he did it to improve the relations between the North and the South and the tribal nations. Now get this, a year prior, in 1862, was the Dakota War. And my understanding, some corrupt federal agents kept these Dakota men, kept them in captive, and some of them were starving, but they had enough energy to fight back the federal agents. And so what did Abraham Lincoln have done? He had those 38 Dakota men to die from hanging. He hung them. Abe Lincoln. Abe Lincoln felt Thanksgiving would be an opportunity to bridge the hard feelings among natives and the federal government. That's just a small piece of Thanksgiving. And then look at, you can even go back to the Pilgrims and the Indian story that we were taught in school. We got a question of what we were taught in school. Did that really happen? And you do some research, and it wasn't the nice image that we have of them getting together and eating pheasant and turkeys and squash and corn. Birthdays. I don't mind the birthday celebrations. Have you noticed on Facebook, you'll have people's birthdays shown, and then what do people do? Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Why are they saying happy birthday? Because they saw it posted on Facebook on their page. Now, I don't put my birthday in there. I don't want all that. But isn't it interesting? I think people feel obligated to do that. And my thing is what's more meaningful for me is if somebody off of Facebook called me or text message, or I get a birthday card, "Hey Jim, just wishing you a happy birthday." They remembered my birthday, not seeing it posted and feeling obligated to send me a happy birthday. That's just my feeling about it. And I'm an Army veteran, retired U.S. Army. And so for me, Memorial Day and Veterans Day is every day, not just one day. So I celebrate it every day. And in my town, we have a lot of memorials. We have pictures of veterans on light posts in our town. And so there's always a constant reminder of our veterans and remembering them and those that we lost and whose lives were taken in past wars. And every day I think about people I served with, something that I did in the military, there's always something that reminds me of my time in service and veterans and in memorial, and it's always with me. What are my suggestions? If I had a family, I would teach my kids, especially if I was a Christian family. Now, for some people, this doesn't apply to them. But I think for Christian people, we have to take a good look at this stuff. You know, the Bible does say that we're supposed to set ourselves apart. Don't conform yourself into the likeness of the world, but be transformed in the renewing of your mind and all that good stuff. And I would teach my kids about Halloween. I would teach them about the origins of it, where it comes from, and the dark side of it, and where Christmas comes from, where Easter comes from. And I would say you can still have your own unique family traditions. You can still get together as a family. Even on Christmas and on Thanksgiving, most people have that day off anyway. So you can still get together as a family, and instead of gifts, someone can bring a covered dish, that kind of thing. You know, hey, let's go meet at somebody's house and bring this or bring that and have a nice family get together, and it can still be a very nice thing. And so that's something you'd have to navigate. And I think if the kids are little and they're seeing their friends celebrating, I think as they get older, they will understand, and I think that they will respect their parents, that they were bold enough to be different from the world, and to not be obligated to celebrate those things like everybody else. So I think that they would be okay with that. And for example, you could also, if you want to do gifts, instead of doing gift giving on Christmas, you can always have money set aside, and then if somebody actually needs something, you have that money there, and then you can buy it for them, something that they actually really need, instead of buying them something that's going to end up in a garage sale later. Now, also want to add that I don't think less of folks who continue to celebrate it. Some people will continue to celebrate the holidays, even Christian people. Well, I don't see any harm in it, and remembering the birth of Jesus and his resurrection, and he is risen, and I think it's a great time, and wonderful. I don't have any ill will towards people that still want to continue to celebrate the holidays. So I don't judge it. I used to celebrate the holidays myself. So I have no judgment. I'm just saying now, as I'm older, I've just decided that, you know what, I'm no longer going to participate in them. And I think of them in a different light now. And that's just what I'm here to share. So I just want to just end it with that no judgment, and nobody should ever judge somebody if they decide to continue to celebrate it. But I present this information just as something to think about. Maybe some people didn't even know this stuff. Heck, I didn't even know it for many years until it was pointed out to me. I was like, what? Really? And you don't know. You know, you grow up with it. It's all you know. And then as you get older, you start studying, you start doing the research and the homework yourself, and it's like, wow, isn't that interesting? You know what? I think I'm gonna change my idea on that, and I'm not gonna participate in that. So that's the decision I have made. That's pretty much it on that. So I don't want to go too long. Thank you again for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.